back to their homes. That's when they befriend us so that they can get a lift from us, or there are people who stay and help us in all situations. Then also read for us Proverbs 27. Added to us selfish interests. Someone only lures you into what he knows is going to help them. But if someone is of mutual benefit, they don't turn up to contribute to it. Proverbs 27:9. What does it say?
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 9. It says, "Ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so doth the sweetness of a man's friend and heartly counsel."
Okay, we are reading from different versions. My version reads like this: perfume and incense brings joy to the heart. The reason that's why I began by telling you that a human being, or us people, we are made into three categories. We have the spirit, we have the flesh, which is the body, and the soul, or the mind. Now, it is the spirit that you connect that you can score better marks in another term. Two become better than one if you have a common goal that is benefiting both of you. Do you understand? If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. That one you can find it in Ecclesiastes 4:9-10. Now, I want us to take a few things that we could look at if we are choosing friends. Number one is choose friends carefully. Choose friends what? Carefully. And I'll ask someone to read for us Proverbs 12:26. It will tell us the reason as why we need to choose friends carefully.
Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. It says, "The righteous is more than excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces him."
It reads like this: the righteous choose their friends carefully. What do we mean by righteous? We are children of parents who are born again, and we also born again. So how are we going to be careful when we are choosing friends? We must choose friends that are God-fearing, because someone cannot be righteous if he's not God-fearing. But the way of the wicked leads them astray. The way of the wicked leads you astray because they come with hidden intentions. They come while pretending like the way Proverbs 27, 9 read, it said, perfume and incense brings joy to the heart. Someone can give you something to just bring joy around you. For example, someone buys you a sweet, someone buys you a party, someone takes you for a snack, but when actually he's interested in ruining your future. And you understand? So, we are being told to choose friends carefully, as per Proverbs 12:26, that the righteous choose their friends carefully. That means if you are righteous, you also have to choose righteous friends. Who is a righteous friend? A friend who does not abuse others, a friend who does not fight, a friend who does not steal, a friend who does not work against the biblical principles. Why? Because as you entertain friends, it means you are opening up your heart to someone who is going to become closer to you. And someone who becomes close to you, if you are not so strong-hearted, he's going to become of an influence to you. For example, if you have a friend at school and he's a smoker, he rushes and goes in the toilet, maybe at around say 3, when other people are in the class, he smokes and then he comes back. That means if you cannot do well with that friend, before you know it, you'll end up into the same character. You'll also start smoking. So they are saying, if you are to choose friends, we must choose them carefully. We are talking about school, but this does not necessarily only stop at school. Some of us stay in estates. In estates, we normally have friends that are not so good. They are friends who like watching funny movies. And they want to create that influence in friends. We are in an era where people have phones. What someone is watching, he forwards it to another so that they can also watch the same. So that means if you don't pick on friends carefully, you can easily be lured into activities that you are not known to. Then point number 2 is choose wisdom. Choose wisdom. While choosing wisdom, we are going to read Proverbs 13:20 and see what it advises us to do.
Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20. It says that, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
Amen. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get in trouble. Have you seen why you need to be so careful when you're choosing friends? When you choose a foolish friend, you'll easily become foolish. Why? Because you'll be persuaded to get into foolish activities. Are we together? Sincere friends are going to influence your life. Look for a friend who brings wisdom to the table instead of foolishness. Are we together? So out there, if you have a friend who is always persuading you to get into characters that you don't understand, we've gotten to a level where we're going to throw them away. As we conclude this, you realize that the type of friendship that you are creating today are going to become the source of foundation of what your future is going to become. Do you watch news? Have you ever seen someone producing like an PLA exam? Writing about a girl who has produced well in her PLA examination? How about in senior 4? You don't watch news. Even this year there was. Probably you are at school, you are in boarding, you don't watch news. So if you walk with foolish friends, you find yourself in foolish activities. You wonder someone who is doing senior 4, how he goes into labor pains and he produces while he's doing his last exams. So what kind of father is that? Someone is in senior 4. Is he going to be able to buy food for the child? You were a child of another child. When your mother is at home, he's a child to your father. When you ask for milk, he's also going to ask for. Now your grandfather is the caretaker of both of you. So we need to be very careful as we choose friends. Point number 3, choose reliability. How reliable is a friend, or how dependable is a friend? We understand what's meant by reliable? A friend, if someone is reliable, is someone who can be there for you. If it means that you need 10,000 and you have nothing, he can forego that 10,000 and he do whatever it requires for you. For example, you may be at school, you're sick, and the nurses have not told you to go home, but you feel, for example, you don't have appetite for food. You need a drink, and you cannot even afford to buy Locuzed or 5,000. Then a friend who is a friend, they say, there's a saying that says a friend in need is a friend indeed. So a friend must be ready to take care of you. When you are in need, he must be in a position to sacrifice. That means he's a dependable friend. But if you have a friend who has what to share with you, and in a time of need, for him he keeps it until you are sorted out, then that is not a friend. Read for us Proverbs 18:24.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 24. A man that hath friends must show himself friendly. And there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother.
One who has unreliable friends soon comes strain. That means if you have unreliable friends, you will suffer consequences. You won't have help. But a friend sticks closer than a brother. We saw a brother only comes in adversity, where you only have in difficult times. But a friend sticks. During the moments of joy, he's there. During the moments of sadness or suffering, he suffers with you. So we must be keen to look for genuine friends. Can I tell you a story? For us, we hear so many things, and for you now, you're getting in very sensitive ages where you need to be so careful. One time, it's about, I think, 3 weeks ago, we were here ministering, I think it was on Thursday. You know, the son has raped me. I'm like, what? It's like, yes, the son has raped me. I have nothing to do. I don't know what to do. You as a pastor, can you advise me? So you must be very watchful of people who appear to be friends when they are not actually what? Friends. But the reason as why they were leaving these two people at home, they thought they were both friends. When actually, the boy was only tiptoeing to see what opportunity can always be there for him to come and cause trouble over this young girl. So they are saying a friend is someone who can stick around in times of joy and times of difficulty. That's why we need to evaluate, and we see as we are making friendship, is this person a true friend? As a boy, that maid at home, is she a true friend? Or she only persuading you to bring you closer to her, so that when your parents are not there, you do bad things? Is that boy making true friendship with you at school? Or is that girl making true friendship with you at school? Are you having genuine chats on the phone? Or someone, people begin with a persuasive language to bring you so close. Why? Because when a friend is coming, he comes slowly, but he's trying to open up your heart so that he gets a room in your heart where he can have a place of sympathy. But we said friends are going to lay a foundation of what your future is going to be. So assuming this girl is raped by someone who has HIV/AIDS, that means in the next 5 years, he can be dead. Because HIV weakens your immune system, and when sickness comes seriously, it's able to kill you. Even if she doesn't die, what if she conceives? That means if you get pregnancy, school may also become to the end. Before you know it, you're also going to sell pancakes by the roadside. And is that person able to father that kid and pay school fees for that child so that he's able to become a useful person in future? So that's the reason that's why I brought a topic of friendship, so that we get to know what kind of friends do we have, or what kind of friends are we ready to receive at this level. So we have so far looked at choosing carefully, choose wisdom, then choose reliability. The fourth one is choose level-headed. Choose level-headed. Choose level-headed. Here, we want to choose friends basing on outward behavior. Choose friends basing on outward behavior. Let's first read Proverbs 22 from verse 24 to 25, then I'll explain.
Proverbs chapter 22 from verse 24 to 25. It says, "Make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man thou shalt not go." Verse 25, "Lest thou learn his ways, and get a snare to thy soul."
Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one who easily gets angered. Because you are going to have trouble in controlling your friends who have short temper. Why? They are going to be fighting always. They are going to be abusing their colleagues. Why? Every time he gets some small comment, he's ready to fight, he's ready to abuse. And us as born again, we have to stay in a God-fearing manner where people don't fight but keep in a friendly manner. So for us to choose friends, we must avoid friends that have weird characters, people who are fighting, people who are abusive, people who get out sharp objects to pinch their friends, to spear their friends, and all sorts of things. Then choose integrity. Choose integrity. People who have good reputation. If I trusted you with something, if, for example, I realized my suitcase is torn and I kept you with my money, the day I come and ask for that money, you're able to reproduce it on the exact amount that I entrusted you with. I hear some schools, when you leave some things in your dormitory, if you leave things in the dormitory in your suitcase, by the time you come back, people have already searched your suitcase and have taken away your things. So such friends cannot be good friends, because before you know it, you have also gotten into a character of stealing other people's things. Read for us 1 Corinthians 5:11. 1 Corinthians 5:11.
First Corinthians chapter 5 verse 11. "But now I have written unto you not to keep company. If any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or an idol, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, with such an one know not to eat."
Hallelujah. As born again, we should not befriend people who indulge in sexual sin, greedy, worship of idols. Do you know what idols are? What are idols? What are idols? Can someone tell us what an idol is?
An idol is a small god.
An idol is a small god. Why do you call it a small god? A small god because you cannot compare it to the creator. But an idol is simply something you worship in the place of God. Instead of worshiping the creator, you worship that small god. It could be money. Instead of coming to church, you are like, but uncle promised to give me money. I need to go and pick money when it's time for prayers. We honor God in all times that we are meant to honor him, and we give him priority. So if you are choosing friends, we choose friends that don't worship idols. Because at school you are going to meet people who don't know anything about God. They even bold you tell you at home, for us we have like a small room where we have our gods. You understand? So such friends, you should always keep a distance, and you know these are going to misguide you. These are going to bring trouble. Anyone who lures you into sexual sin, that means he's not a good friend. Someone who is greedy. You know someone who is greedy? Can someone tell us about what's meant by being greedy? Greedy is being in a picture of possessing whatever is around. If you're someone with a good shoe, you are like, I wish it was mine. Someone with a good shirt, I wish that was mine. If they bring something on table to share, you want the whole of it to be yours. That's greed. While God says we should love each other, and loving is sharing. Are we together? So we should be careful as we make friends to avoid people who want to lure us in the sexual sin, people who are so greedy, then people who worship idols. Then we also said people who are abusive, people who are drunkards. As long as you realize that someone is a drunkard, he's not worth being a friend. Then he cheats, people who cheat their friends' things in the dormitory, people who cheat their friends' things in the class. You leave your textbooks in class. By the time you come back, they're already taken. Those are not worth being your friends. Don't be misled. Bad company corrupts good company. You may begin as a good person at school. For example, if you join in, say, P5, a very well-behaved person, having good characters, disciplined, born again. But as you get a bad company of friends around you, they start luring you into their own characters. Before you know it, you're also stealing other people's pocket money. When you go at the canteen, you give in 1,000, and you say, I've given you 2,000. Add me more chapati. So we must be very careful about the type of friends that we make. And this goes to so many areas. We're talking about school, but it can even also come through gadgets. The people that you chat with. What type of people do you chat with? What do you watch, for example? In that WhatsApp group, what do you chat? All these can become a source of bad influence and ruining your future. Because we said the type of friends that you are having today are laying a foundation of what type of person you are going to become in the future. Now, we also ask ourselves a question, because whatever we've been looking at, we've been looking at how to choose friends. The question now I pose before you, are all friends beneficial? Are all friends beneficial? Are all friends that you're having right now beneficial? Are all friends you're having beneficial? You don't understand what I mean, maybe. What I mean is whatever friend that you possess right now benefiting you? Friends may not be beneficial to you, but they may be of influence. For example, there may be friends that benefit from you because you're always number one in class. They are friends to you because they want you to keep on discussing for them. So they may not necessarily benefit you at this time. But the key point we should look at, are they influential to you? Because they came to you for the reason because you are wise and you are able to discuss for them. It should be you to influence them, to pull them up so that they are able to perform better in class. But if they become an influence to you, so that will again affect your performance and you decline in performance, those are friends that are going to be thrown out immediately. Understand? The aim is to make good choices in choosing friends, because the people you hang around with affect your life. That's what we've already seen. The type of people that you hang out with affect your life. It may not be right now, but in the future you realize whatever gaps that happened in your life was because of the wrong friends that you chose, or it is because of the right friends that you chose to have. So if you realize right now that you have wrong friends, it is high time you chose to keep away from such friends. Some of you are afraid that so and so is such a good friend, I cannot tell him that our friendship is stopping here today. But it does not mean that you have to go and boldly talk to someone that our friendship is ending today. Friendship, we already had one of our colleagues told us, we need friendship because of companion. So the only reason, the one of the ways we can cut off ties with wrong friends is by keeping distance. How do you keep distance? By limiting on the time or in times of association. 2, we can also keep a virtual distance. If these people are friends that we've been discussing with through messages, WhatsApp, you can choose to keep a deaf ear. Whenever they send messages, you keep quiet. You keep quiet. Up to a certain period, you'll see them beginning to pull away. Eventually, you'll have thrown them away, and you get along with friends that are going to benefit you and that are going to build a benefiting future. Now, ask yourself, of the friends that are around you, do you feel motivated by such friends? Do you feel joy when you have those friends around you? Or you feel exhausted and worn out? That's the only way you can realize what types of friends that you have around you. Are the friends that you're having around you encouraging you, inspiring you, motivating you, or bringing you joy? Are those friends that you treasure encouraging you right now? Do you feel encouraged when they're around you? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel motivated? Maybe I go on breaking one by one. Do you feel encouraged by that friend? For example, people who are at school. If you score, for example, 50 and your friend has scored 90, does this friend of yours give you courage? That not mind, next time you will work harder, you need to revise. Probably the day when we covered this, you are not paying attention, but I will have to discuss for you so that you get along with us. In the same way, as he encourages you, he's giving you inspiration to work and gain momentum so that you can get at a higher level. As they inspire you, still you get motivated. Because for us as parents, by the time we get to see your report, for us we react as per your report. But friends at school, for them they are looking at daily performance. So they are able to tell you and say, this paper was not too hard. If you changed in this and such area, or if you started utilizing the times when you are free, you can improve in such subjects. Those are friends that are going to build your future motivate you so that in the future you're able to count on them that they were good. However, the people who have friends, in our times, we used to have bigger dormitories. You have a whole room like this one, and don't have one matron. So you find children have gone out to study, and like 2 of them are covering under their mattresses. Of course, the matron will keep around maybe for 30 minutes, then she will go out. And these people will uncover themselves. They will stay in the dormitory until their colleagues come back. So they keep on dodging classes, most especially people who fear mathematics. They say it's mathematics. They say, I will not go to class. What are you going to do? They say, I will stay within here. I know how I'm going to dodge. You know, those days we used to take mattresses by ourselves. So some people would buy a mattress of 2 inches. You know, a mattress of 2 inches is almost as thick as a bed cover. So someone chooses to sleep on the mat, then he puts the mattress on top. So the matron will move around and think everyone has gone to class, when actually someone is in the dormitory. But by doing that, you are not doing anyone this service. Such people, we now find them on the street, they never completed their education and they are suffering. So if such a person is your friend, he's going to misguide you, and he's going to sometimes ask you, run out of school. Those days you used to have school that are a bit isolated. They would be off the road, the main road. Maybe it would be probably like 5 kilometers away from the main road. So children would escape from school and run to go to the main road to buy whatever they need. And those days it used to be strictly portion and beans, 5 days in a week. If they have to change, they change like on Saturday. That's where they will have rice, and rice that is not even well cooked, rice of poor grade. So it was easier for children to break out of school if you are very willing and ready to listen to wrong friends. You'll find like they are almost every term they are dismissing children for breaking school rules to run out of the school. So as we speak to you, we want you to have good company, want you to build good friendship so that you become better people and good future leaders. So they were saying, if you have friends that don't encourage you, if you have friends that don't inspire you, if you have friends that don't motivate you, that don't bring joy to you, and they're just exhausting you, why should you keep them around? We need to think otherwise, and you see how we are going to move with such friends. Then another thing, what nature of conversations do you have with your friends? Because the type of conversations speak volumes of what kind of friends, of what kind of friendship you are building. For example, I'll stick so much to school and church. If you're at church, what kind of conversations do you have? Do you ever go out and ask yourself, today is someone I didn't understand such and such a reading? Or only get out to say, have you ever watched such and such a cartoon? If you're at school, we expect to have talks that contain subjects that you don't understand, maybe the well-being of children at school, the feeding pattern, the way they sleep, but not discussing things that are way beyond your age. So, the type of discussions that you carry out with your friends also speak volumes, and they dictate what kind of direction you are going to have in the future. Then if the direction satisfies you and leaves you better off, it is beneficial. If it is nagging you and if it's embarrassing you, then better leave such friends. You know, we are in an era where you need to be so careful, and some of you have gadgets. You need to find out people who encroach on schools and how they lure students out of school. Why? We have Satanists, a category of Satanists that are there to initiate the young generation into Satanism and even take them out of school. Some of you, just like already I've spoken to you and you've told me you don't always watch news. I think I was watching this over social media. There was a boy that was persuaded into homosexuality at the university. On the YouTube, if we had a common screen here, I would share. He was studying in the East,